What's going on, everyone? We have a funny video, and Dreamcast guys already on it. Xbox is dead in 2026. We haven't even gotten 2026, and then why it is all over. This is actually funny to me, so I'm definitely going to be reacting to this. I didn't watch too much of it, but there's some things he said. I'm like, oh boy, he's over exaggerating again, and it just cracks me up. So, are we ready to get into this? One thing I have to say is that I've made my video today. So if you talk about hardware, I mean, dude, the DRAM prices aren't coming. Why would it be in any sense alive, obviously? But when you just talk about Xbox in general, I think they're going to have a strong publishing year in 2026. I said what I said about Microsoft, but if those IPs, which I feel like at least like 60 to 7% of them do well, they're going to have a strong publishing presence, obviously. And I said they're going to need PlayStation for that, and they'll come to Nintendo as well. So that's not dead in that sense. But you know, he likes to do this every once in a while, and I think it's absolutely funny. I do it when it's necessary. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. Here we go, y'all.
Hey there, gamers, Dreamcast guy here. Today we're talking about the death of Xbox, because I truly believe that 2026 is the year that they just get shut down. I mean, it just feels like things get worse and worse and worse. The console isn't selling, the games aren't selling. Game Pass has had like 15 price increases.
15 price increases? Why does he do that? Why didn't he just say that Microsoft recently jacked the price up of Game Pass by $10? And that was ridiculous. 15 price increases is like, come on, man, you're being you're being a clown. That type of stuff cracks me up, man. And I'm telling you, the way you have to take this, definitely when it's over exaggeration, because that's what this is that you kind of have to make a comedy out of it. That's why we got this, you know, mischievous Mo Nintendo music playing. You know, on my thing, I got this saying funny on it because I know this song is funny and it fits him perfectly. But if you look at that, the look is pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, it's just funny to me. 15 price increases. Like, come on, Dreamcast guy. They did like 2 this generation before that, and then they did a huge one. Obviously this year, which is worth, you know, a good amount, where you're like, okay, $2 here, 2007. Oh, they just went straight up 10 and then jacked the price up of the consoles 2 times this year, which is not good. And obviously, yeah, I mean, the games are not selling there. The hardware's not selling like it should. But I'm not going to sit here and say that, that the publishing is going to be dead in 2026, because that doesn't make any sense. And saying that it went up 50 times. That's hilarious. Let's keep going.
Even the president of Xbox, where is Phil Spencer? Put that guy on a milk carton. I haven't even seen that dude in public in like 9 months. This is...
Well, he did his job already. I mean, when you think about, like, he's done everything he's could. Of course, Phil Spencer's made mistakes. Like I said, I still like Phil Spencer. I know I've had some criticizing earlier this year. I know some of them weren't happy. It's definitely some stuff maybe at Microsoft, what I said about Satya, but you know, that guy's still a brilliant guy too. I love Indians. I mean, come on, man. They're funny and they're awesome. And hey, man, they're in a high position, so you got to respect them. People sometimes ignore them. I don't know why. They're pretty intelligent, and they've been around on Earth a very long time. But Phil Spencer, like I say, he's a likable guy. One guy can't do all that. You know what I mean? It takes a lot more than that. So you can't throw everything on him. He's tired. He's getting ready probably to retire soon and get his paycheck. I mean, when you get to that point, it's like, what else can he really do? Like I said, it's a runaway freak train. Like, that's going so fast that, I don't know, man. It's an impossible game at this point. So the best thing they can do is what they're doing, and that's that third-party publishing. And just making your games good and the quality good and the development when you go to other platforms. So that's the best they can do. So, I mean, Phil Spencer, he's had those interviews recently not too long ago, saying how he wish he would have looked out for the devs and all that, but... You know, I mean, like I said, I don't know what else you want him to really say at this point.
is just a ghost town. But today specifically,
yeah.
I wanted to talk about the evidence that I feel like most points at the fact that this is the last leg of Xbox. It's done so. I don't even think they're going to have that next-gen console they're claiming exists. I think this is the end of the end. But let me break it down. Hi.
They could become a third-party publisher with the price of this DRAM. They may just say, man, screw this. This is not worth it. I mean, is that a possibility? Yeah, I'm not going to deny that. 2026 seems like it's going to be nuts when it comes to consumer pricing. And then we just got all this crazy stuff going on in a tariff world too, and the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, and the consumer's just not really getting benefited. I don't like it either, you know what I mean? And somebody's going to have to do something. I kind of liked Elon's idea of just abolish the whole damn tariff system and remove taxes. Definitely. And I was talking with a friend of mine about that earlier, like, I mean, if you're going to be playing that tariff game, man, send people a paycheck 2 times a year. Really good one, 5,000. So you know what I mean? Like, make up for that. If not, yeah, man, it's just going to be ridiculous. But, as far as Microsoft's concerned, their mistake was jacking the price up too much before these DRAM crises hit. Sony did what they did, but they played it smarter and they got ahead. But yeah, Microsoft is definitely in trouble when it comes to their brand power, obviously, when it comes to Xbox hardware, when it comes to even thinking about the magnets, because you don't need it when you have a PC, or, you know what I mean? You can just upgrade it. And then there's people even thinking about even Steam Machine, but that's not going to be able to match that power. But what I'm saying is there's always other options besides thinking about Xbox hardware. I'm more interested in Xbox publishing and first-party games, and could those IPs still be good? Because I can play them anywhere. As far as like Phil Spencer coming out, I mean, what do you want him to say now? The console war's over with, so.
I hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, part of my inspiration for this is honestly that last night during the Game Awards, everybody was there except Xbox. I mean, there were some like Xbox executives sitting in the chair.
Yeah, Aaron Greenberg was there. I did see Phil. That was interesting. But like I said, I don't know. Maybe he's just tired.
And stuff, but for the most part, there was a big segment about the next big PlayStation 5 exclusive, Saros. That honestly looked fantastic. Now, Nintendo didn't announce anything first party, but there was a lot of stuff that's clearly being put to the Nintendo Switch 2, stuff like Pragmata, a bunch of big AAA stuff made announcements that even if we saw them before, they announced they're also coming to Nintendo Switch 2. It's funny that the one award that Xbox won was Games for Impact for South of Midnight, and they came on stage and said, please buy the game on PlayStation. How bizarre was that? But that's not it, right? That's not everything. What was strange is that they didn't really bother actually showing their games. They tweeted stuff out during E3 last night, or sorry, during the Game Awards last night. They tweeted out stuff like, hey, get Gears of War E-Day 2026. There was also this strange thing where they in line, while there was actually the pre-show of it, some Xbox executives were talking about what their plans are for next gen, what they're doing in 2026. And they said, oh yeah, don't worry, we're going to be talking about Fable and Forza Horizon 6. We got a lot of stuff shipping next year. I'll tell you that Playground Games will be at our next Developer Direct, and we got more stuff next year to show, and we can't just put it in one show, right? Okay, sounds good, sounds fluffy, but a lot of Xbox fans feel a lot of doubt. Xbox, don't worry, good times are coming. They say this every single year of every single generation. We can probably expect more redundancies, more studio closures, and everything else instead. More announcements of games going to other platforms. It is wild to consider the fact that even if you're the biggest Xbox fan, what do you actually have as a reason to stay on Xbox? Almost everybody I know that actually cares about Xbox at this point has just gone to PC. You can play the games better, more customized, and a lot of times cheaper on there because it's better to just buy it on Steam than it is to get the expensive $30 a month Xbox Game Pass. But I think there is a trickle down to this. This is the fact that at this point, nobody is buying any Xbox games. That green stink ain't coming off.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you put Game Pass on your console, like we've talked about, that market is not going to be alive. Yeah, like I said, they need PlayStation, they need Nintendo, they need Steam. That's what they're going to need in 2026 and beyond. Now, like I said, being a third-party publisher and expanding out, it's not going to be on their platform. There's no doubt about that. And as far as the Game Awards, yeah, I mean, I didn't expect nobody to show their big games because they're all following that Nintendo Direct model now. You know what I mean? So that's pretty obvious. And yeah, we've talked about this before. I mean, Game Pass pretty much killed their market and they just didn't have what they needed. So obviously, in order to make up for that, you have to go to markets that are alive, and that's Steam, that's Nintendo's market, and that's Sony's market on PlayStation. And Xbox is pretty much going PC to just join in with that, and you'll be on their app and play the Magnus was just another option getting in the PC world. Like I said, it's still more PC expandability. Just like the Steam Machine is more PC expandability, but in a console-like experience. So that all kind of ties hand in hand into just now it's just PC, and that console is pretty much gone. So it's just going to be PlayStation and Nintendo. And just PC ecosystems and their own independency, like, Steam Machine, Steam on PC, Steam Deck, independent ecosystem, off the screen in handheld and in a console-like experience. Xbox PC aspect, and then being available everywhere on all those other devices. And then PlayStation 5 with PS5 Pro, PS4 Pro, PlayStation 6 handheld, PlayStation 6, and their own independent ecosystem. And you kind of have that going on, you know what I mean? But as far as Microsoft's concerned, they just have to be a publisher on everything. And that's just doing what EA's been doing, Rockstar's been doing, and just looking for publishing power and being relevant in the gaming industry and being good that way. The other game just doesn't work anymore for them, and the route that they took, it's just not going to work. So that's kind of like my take on that.
I saw this report that apparently Microsoft is pretty much freaking out about Black Ops 7.
Yeah, I mean, stop. You know what I mean? It's not really them. They've been milking that. I mean, they were doing that with Kotick. It's like, why would you release the next Black Ops the next year? You know what I mean? It's like, no, man, that was the worst decision ever. Like, you're just literally making it so, like, bland, where it's like, stop releasing it like that. It's annoying after a while. Like, why did you launch a sequel the next year like that? That's ridiculous. No, man. That's way too much milking, and just you're doing it way too much. Like, and then now you got competition like Arc Raiders, Battlefield slapping you in the face, and then they're arrogant, talking about they're not worried about it. Yeah, that's your fault. You're the one that got stupidly arrogant making that comment. It's too big to fail. And what happened? You got dominated. You got dominated at the Game Awards too. You weren't even in a category. You know what I mean? That's how relevant Call of Duty was this year. People are tired of seeing that like that. It's like, no. And if you were going to do it the right way, man. Take a year off. Like, you know what I mean? But they're not doing that. They just keep trying to milk it. And it's just really annoying. It's been annoying me after the 360 era, and I just don't care for it. Because there's way other options around. We're not in that blockbuster era where you wait on that game like that anymore. That's been outdated. And they tried to get that and then look at the impact, but you paid that much for it. Yeah, man, that's kind of a curse. In a way, and they have to do something about that and rethink their plans very carefully. You kind of have to, because they're supposed to be something you pay that much money for, and then you're getting those results, and you got embarrassed by Battlefield and Arc Raiders, a $39.99 game that nobody even spent that much money on to even have that company going. So like, when you just really think about it in that fashion, yeah, it just doesn't make them look good, because in the holidays you looked very weak and you had no deals and you didn't have the biggest thing going on. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's definitely a problem for sure. That needs to be talked about at Activision. You know what I mean? Because there's also some independency there as well. Microsoft's just publishing it. So yeah, they need to reevaluate that 100%.
They spent almost $70 billion to get Activision. This is the first game that was fully developed by Microsoft. This is their Call of Duty, and it is the lowest selling one ever. The sales fell off a cliff.
Good,
and
that's good.
Internally, they're saying, look,
and the reason why is to make your game better. You have better competition now. That's good. You want more competition so that it can get better. It's not like you want the series to die, but you want it to actually be a really good game.
I think we may merge studios. We may do mass layoffs. We need to completely rethink the monetization models within the franchise.
That too.
Now, I'm taking this as two separate things. They raised the price of Xbox Game Pass specifically because they wanted to put Call of Duty in it. They said straight up, hey, we're going to boost the price of Game Pass, but you're going to get Call of Duty day one. It seems like that didn't work. That did not boost the sales. That didn't boost the player numbers. Straight up, it just seems like nobody got Black Ops 7. And it seems like nobody's interacting with those crappy AI slap microtransactions.
100% on that. And then last year they thought I was going to do something for Game Pass, and they ended up falling right back down as well. So it's not working out, and they spent that money, and now they want a profit, 30% demand. DRAM crisis is coming. This all is just, it's terrible. You know what I mean? It is not, it's just all looking bad. Like, you know what I mean? So I can understand that perspective, but their publishing is still going to be really good because those games are going to be available everywhere.
Very much so. They've publicly talked about it. Microsoft is all in on AI. They want AI to make all their games. They've even said they're trying to work on like special engines where essentially it will even backport their games. It'll take old Xbox games and literally just auto put them on new systems for them. Microsoft's big idea is that instead of hiring good developers or actually making good games, just have AI slop fill up your entire storefront. Make boring derivative dribble and hope people accidentally buy it. Maybe if there's zero developer costs, none of our games will bomb, even if they don't sell. This is such an ignorant, obviously stupid methodology. I mean, it is just so absolutely archaically dumb. Only a company could come up with it, right? Here's the other part of it, though. I wanted to talk about the fact that Black Friday happened recently, and everything sold like crazy. There was actually a bunch of reports that essentially PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch sold out pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, we covered this already. But yeah, I mean, that's my case. By pretty much saying this, why Phil Spencer doesn't have to do what he do, and why their publishing will be fine, but everything else outside of that, I'm not so sure. I think 2026 is definitely going to be very rough because we know it's going to be affecting everything. So let me know what you guys think about this. Haven't done a salt farmer video in a while. Peace out. Keep it real. Later, y'all.